Welcome to NASCAR on NBC. Steve Letarte here alongside Jeff Burton. Jeff, we knew it was coming at some point, or I believe we both agreed that Brad was going to win a race. I didn't see it being Darlington, but how impressive was the win for Brad and bringing that famed number 6 back to victory lane?
Well, it's really cool to see, RFK running well. As an alumni there, Jack Roush was such a major part of my career and really life in general. So it's fun to see RFK back running well. Brad's obviously been a major influence there, made a lot of changes. And then, I think he's been exceptionally happy to see Chris Buescher win races. But, man, you want to be the guy winning races. And for all of it to finally happen is got to feel good for him. It's been so much work, so much dedication by everybody involved to get that thing turned around over there. And they're contenders. I mean, every single week, you were not surprised to see them run up front. And I think that'll continue into the rest of the year.
I think that's what everyone forgets. When Brad left Team Penske to go to what was then Roush Fenway, it became RFK with his initial joining the fray as ownership. They had one car 19th in points and one car outside the top 20 in points. And that first year, you and I covered them from the booth. And I don't think there was a Sunday where we went in thinking, oh, the RFK cars are the favorite, maybe a Talladega race where we thought they could win. But Brad has found a way to kind of change the direction of an already successful ship. And that's what people have to understand, right? Is Jack Roush, you drove there. I crew chiefed against them. They've won championships. We've chased them in the playoffs before. It's so hard to kind of lose your identity. When you were already winning, why would you change directions? Brad went in and found his own kind of voice within that group. The shop looks different. The vibe is different. There's still some Jack Roush anchors, which I love. Jack should be celebrated. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. But what Brad has done as a driver owner, to me, that's the most impressive part. I know Tony Stewart did it. You can think back to Ricky Rudd. But think of the distractions of being an owner and a driver. And I don't know how Brad measures those two. You and I have sat down with him multiple times. He definitely kind of beats to his own drum. He has true belief of what this company can be with Ford on the hood. And that's what I think what made this win so impressive is that it was a Brad Keselowski win, but it was an RFK day. Both cars were up front. I thought it was going to be Chris Buescher, at least until that late move by Tyler Reddick.
Well, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Chris Buescher, including Chris Buescher. But, clearly Tyler Reddick, he had speed. I mean, Tyler was coming pretty quick. I actually think Chris was in a little bit of trouble. Tyler had running down right here, see Chris's car moving around a little bit, and just an over-aggressive move. This is a move, Steve, you and I have talked about this a lot. And that move right there is an attempted slide job that just did not work. He did not clearing and damaged both cars. And now, easily, now it's Brad's race. And this kind of wreck is new, relatively new. NASCAR is over 75 years old. We didn't see these kind of wrecks. This was an attempted slide job, gone bad, and I didn't like the timing of it. I thought that there was enough time for Tyler to chill out a little bit, try to make something happen, plenty of laps left, but there's been some success with these kind of moves. So when somebody tries and it doesn't work, you have to understand that they have seen this move work, and that's why they're trying to make it happen.
The timing is important to me. As we watch that replay over again, we run through 1 and 2. It's clear to me Reddick's faster. I agree with your assessment. The 17 is in trouble. We're coming to basically 10 to go, and Reddick fires it off in there the first time he gets to Buescher's rear bumper. That's like a move I would expect coming to the checkered. While I don't love, the slide job that has no chance of not having contact, I can overlook it coming to the checkered because the grandstands are full to watch a move like that. The problem I have with 10 to go is you have put Chris Buescher in a position where he has no option but get run into. He can't lift. He can't turn left. He can't get out of the way, right? That to me, I don't love it ever. I can accept it coming to the checkered, as that's the racing we live in now. I mean, this racing at Darlington didn't look like anything we're used to anymore. With 10 to go, and I think we saw that in the post-race confrontation between Buescher and Reddick. Buescher is mad, as he has every right to be, and Reddick has no defense and doesn't try to defend it, which I think is the right move. Throw your hands up, my mistake. Like, what's the defense? You overcooked the corner, you didn't have enough grip, and you hit the guy. Tyler Reddick is going to continue to win a ton of races. I think sometimes we forget how young some of these guys are in their careers. I mean, we take for granted how wise, say, Denny Hamlin or Truex or some of those older drivers are, that's going to be a lesson learned for Reddick.
It will be. Let's go back and watch it one more time, because watch what happens here. We've talked about it being an aggressive move, but watch the 17 car. He gets in the wall right there. He's not in the wall, and he gets in the wall before he gets run into. So he was the back of his car. He was in trouble. And he tried to get in the corner. He knew what was coming. And he tried to get in the corner, carry some speed, and his car would not maintain grip. And that goes back to our point we were making. I don't think he could play defense. I think his car was done. He was sliding all over the place. He was out of control before he ever got run into. So that tells you, as he tried to step up his car, it wasn't there for him. He wasn't going to be able to play defense the way he wanted to. And so I think with all of that information, I think Tyler Reddick will go back and watch all of that and say, okay, what could I have done different? Tyler Reddick is a number one, a really good guy. He's very much an aggressive race car driver. And he's going to go back and he's going to look at this. And he's made these mistakes before. But I think what he'll learn from this is, how many laps are left? Is this the time? Is this the time to throw that move? Because it wasn't the time to throw that move. He had a guy in front of him in trouble, but it's desperation, Steve. Look at the 17. He is shaking all over. Boom, it's around on him there, and he gets in the wall. But it's desperation time for Reddick. Winning a race means more in today's world than it's ever meant. You win that race, you have a chance to win the playoffs. It's right there. It's right in front of me, and you go take it. He would have been better off to check up a little bit, but that's easy for you and me to say, sitting in the seats, sitting in our air conditioner, wherever we happen to be. It's a whole nother different situation when you're sitting in that car and there's a chance to win a championship right in front of you.
Well, as a crew chief, as a guy that used to run a race team, that's the conversation I'm having. At no point am I admonishing my driver. I love the aggression. He's the same guy that led the majority of the race, right? The conversation I would have him is, did you have all the information? Could I have helped? Because remember, I'm on the pit box. While I'm emotionally involved, I can have a drink of water. I have all the computers in front of me. It's my job, and I believe, to help remind the driver of the forecast, of what's in front. And maybe Reddick would say, I knew all of that, it wouldn't have helped. Okay, great, no problem. Well, next time, I want to be like, hey man, 10 to go. Hey, you're faster. Hey, let's be patient here. Brad's not coming. You're going to get there on your own. I want to make sure. I don't want to assume, Jeff, that in that, slip and sliding around Darlington, that you're checking that rear view camera and you know where Brad is. There's a lot going on. I think it's a lot like a caddy in golf, right? After you have something going on, that caddy needs to come up. Hey, take a breath. Right? Let's not let time fast forward. That's what happens in these big moments. And that's kind of what it looked like, really, in both situations. I hadn't noticed it, but you're right. Buescher, he had sent it in the corner. He was going to make wall contact. Let's talk about Darlington in general, though. I felt like we just watched a transition. This car keeps increasing the aggression of driving, increasing the aggression on restarts. I felt like Darlington was still one of those races that still held race the racetrack. I did not see much racing the racetrack, Jeff. I saw drivers racing the crap out of each other. Thank goodness for the race fans, but was that real? You were there in person. In person, was it as crazy as it looked on TV at times?
It's 100% real. And Darlington has never been raced like this before. These drivers are maximizing their opportunities. They are willing to take risk. They are racing this racetrack, not like my generation raced it. And by the way, my generation raced it differently than the previous. And it's gotten more aggressive and more aggressive. And this is the conversation after the aggression, we're going to race each other, not the racetrack. And, you said it best. Buescher had every right to be mad. And I like the fact he went and had a conversation right there. To hell with the text, to hell with an email. Let's have a conversation right now, because that emotion is real. And also you're sending a signal, not just to him, but to everybody else. I'm not going to let you run over me. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make a stand. I like the post-race confrontation. I think it was done correctly. It didn't go over the top. But all of it's because of the aggression. It just simply has become a race. It's a must-see race. It is so much fun watching it, and it's just the attitude the drivers have taken. You can't ride around and save your race car anymore. The race car gives you a little more durability than what we had before. So go use it. Go use that to your advantage. And the drivers are getting every millisecond out of their car.
Well, Brad Keselowski has added his name to the winners list. He should be all but locked into the playoffs. Let's not forget, we'll head back to Darlington for the Southern 500 on Labor Day weekend. That's where we're going to close the regular season. We're in the month of May. We got the All-Star race. We got the Coca-Cola 600, Indy 500. It's a great month of racing. We'll be back each and every Monday to break it down here on NASCAR on NBC.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.